Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We all know that Great Britain has a strong economy, and that is also proven by the fact that it is able to not only support its own population, but also is able to give from its surplus, economic surplus, to Ukraine, be it money, be it weapons, whatever is needed. And it seems like because Great Britain is a rich country and good for it, for Great Britain, they work for it and they have everything they need, and the economy is humming and doing great, then they can afford doing that. I mean, you wouldn't do that if your economy would be, in big doo-doo, would you? Oh, yeah, that's exactly what happens. Let me tell you about it. So this article that I found here a few days ago, it's from Bloomberg. It's actually from June 27th, which is today. I thought I found it earlier than that. Nevertheless, it's from today, which you're gonna watch it the next day. Britain's battered economy is sliding towards a breaking point. So Britain's battered economy is sliding towards a breaking point. So if you're sliding towards a breaking point, how can you afford to give billions of dollars to someone else? Imagine that you're a household and you are working in deficit, so you're consuming more than you're producing. So your income cannot cover your expenses daily, daily, daily. So you go down, down, down. And then your creditors, the bankers, and all that come and say, hey, we're going to ask things from you now. We can't do this. I mean, we need the money in full. Well, we're going to give it to you, but let us give to the neighbor some more because, we like the neighbor and we don't like the other neighbor. So because we didn't like the other neighbor, we're going to sponsor this neighbor to drain the other guy, the other neighbor's economy and military power and influence. So let's see. Do you think that's logical? Maybe. Maybe they all both get bankrupt, or all three of them. One is already. Ukraine is. So Britain under Prime Minister Boris Johnson is running into the biggest headwinds it's faced since the 1970s, heaping pain on an economy still reeling from Brexit and the pandemic. After suffering from unprecedented shocks in recent years, the nation is succumbing to more intractable problems marked by plodding growth, surging inflation, and a series of damaging strikes. The result is a plunge in consumer confidence that analysts warn may lead to a recession. Uh, Railway workers last week walked off the job in anger that their living standards are slipping, and criminal barristers are striking Monday. Teachers and doctors may be next, but you give money to Ukraine because you have it. Did you hear what was the first thing here? They walked off the job in anger that their living standards are slipping. Maybe you can do with that money some for your own people. All right, so they say here that the Malaise is a far cry from the boom and cool Britannia reputation that Tony Blair's government enjoyed through the early part of this century. The headline figures make grim reading. The economy is on track to shrink in the second quarter, rising the possibility that the UK is already in a recession. Even when the outlook appeared brighter, officials estimated that growth would settle at a below par 1.8% a year, with no end in sight to the feeble productivity that has blighted the country for over a decade. Well, maybe more immigration will do the magic. How about that? While growth is on track to lag most major economies next year, inflation is also on the rise. Consumer prices surged by 9.1% in the year through May, the most for 40 years. The Bank of England expects inflation to accelerate again when energy bills are allowed to rise in the autumn, reaching more than 11%. Why the energy bills will be rising in the autumn? Do you have any idea? Is that because of sanctions on Russia? It's a blow for the UK, which led the world in growth after the pandemic and recalls the dark days of the 1960s and 1970s when the country had some major downfalls, I guess. All right, this is what it is. So it's not looking too good for you guys over there. Not that it's good here, but you know, these guys at least have a bigger economy, so it's like a big boat that sinks a little bit slower. Yours is a smaller boat that sinks faster. So that's the only difference here. The thing is, Boris Yeltsin, Boris Johnson, uh, again, he pledged more support for Ukraine at the G7 meeting in Germany, because the other one said, well, maybe we should talk to Putin. How about that? And Boris Johnson said, no, 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 no. We can't do that. I'm going to bet higher, man. I'm, you know, getting the bets higher. And everybody was like, are you sure, Boris? And Johnson said, yes, I'm sure. With your lives, not with his. He's doing fine with your lives. Remember, before that Prime Minister Churchill got to be Prime Minister, he was almost bankrupt. Just look, and you can read his memoirs if you didn't, and you find out what was that deal with the memoirs. But nevertheless, he got the support from certain financiers, and he was channeled to the prime minister position. But what do I know? Ask that historian, your historian, the British historian. His name is David, and the last name is I. I can't use it because people, you know, he said too much. Maybe this is he said too much. This guy, David I. He's about 80. I don't know if he's still alive or not. But nevertheless, he wrote the book Dresden in, I don't know, 58, 62, something like that. And then it was a great success until he was starting telling other stuff, and the stuff was not popular with a group, and the group said that he's a very bad dude, and then he was decapitated. Not literally, obviously. So there is Boris. Boris will do just fine. He was going to be all right. He's the prime minister. He's got the connections. He gave left and right to whomever. After he leaves that position, he's going to be kicked in the butt out. He's going to land very soft landing. You'll see, but not you, because the results of his actions right now, you and your children and my children will face them, because we got these sleepy guys over here that don't know what is happening around them, and there are others behind that pull the strings, and these guys are, when is time to go to bed? Just take it easy, drink your tea. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. So yeah, give more money to Ukraine because you have a lot. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.